back-to-back champions, consistent top-ranked recruiting classes, future projections of being the top-ranked preseason team for years to come. From a 2-star laughingstock to a team rolling on a 28-game win streak, Coach Derek Carrot III came to Denton with the promise of turning the team into a contender, the Kings of Texas, and nobody can argue he did anything but over-deliver. 2 days after the national championship, a press conference was held, where Coach announced what had been rumored all season. He was leaving North Texas for the NFL, taking a surprise job opening in Tampa Bay, a team reeling off a decade of incompetence and an opportunity for a fresh slate. After 2 straight titles and their coach moving on, several draft-eligible players decided to declare, foregoing another run at history, choosing to start their pro careers. Those players include J.J. Bracken, coming off an incredible championship game where he booted a 60-yarder and a 52-yarder, backup quarterback Kevin Shaw, who had some success as a spot starter, but, with no clear opportunity next season, decided to jump into the draft process since he was at least projected to be selected. However, the biggest declaration was the least surprising. After going MIA during the title game, it came to the surprise of no one that 2-time Heisman runner-up Scott Hardy had declared for the NFL draft. Despite projections that another year in college could boost him up to a top overall pick, he decided to risk being a late-round selection, saying he had nothing left to give the college game that gave him nothing in return. While he loved Denton and his teammates, the NCAA and its voters had broken him so much that going pro was a mental health decision more than anything. Meanwhile, back in Denton, a coaching search had begun, but ended quickly and not too far from home. While the Mean Green had a huge draft class going out, one player surprisingly not projected to be drafted was stud left end Kenneth Dotson. Despite a 22-sack season to cap off a 50-sack career, he was not only not invited to the combine, but scouts said he probably wouldn't catch on as an undrafted rookie, recommending a tryout for the XFL's Dallas Renegades if he wanted to continue playing. Rather than the difficult road of a walk-on, he talked to mentor and former teammate Kelvin Smith about joining his staff at Boston College. When word got back to campus that he was interested in coaching, North Texas offered him their head coaching job, hoping replacing the greatest coach in the nation with a Mean Green legend would keep the recruits coming and the success continuing long after Coach Carrot's recruits graduated. What's up, guys? I'm Shane, and welcome to the Year 5 offseason of our North Texas Dynasty. So I was kicking around the idea of Coach Carrot coming back for one final ride, maybe trying to go for that three-peat, but it just felt right. It felt like it was time to let him go to the NFL. You know, especially since his favorite team had a job opening. Why wouldn't you take that? How his career goes, we'll get to that later. Now, there's a lot of changes that are happening this offseason, but there's one announcement that you guys aren't going to be happy with. Next season marks season 6 of our North Texas Dynasty. It will also be the final season of our North Texas Dynasty. I feel really bad. I really love this dynasty a lot. I do. But after last season, after smoking everyone we came across, I mean, there were a lot of tomato cans on the schedule, sure, but we smoked even the big competition. We shut out Iowa State. We even beat Alabama by more than 2 scores. Like, it's just gotten to the point where it's not fun, because even when I'm playing like crap, we're still winning by like 35 points. Like, we're putting up 60 points when I throw 4 interceptions in a game. It's just not... I was kicking around different things. I even thought about doing a death penalty storyline where I kicked half the players off the roster, but that just seemed cheap. Also, you can't force people to transfer in this game, because otherwise it'd just be funny if Donald Smith went to SMU, who was also going after him during recruiting. So this is going to be one last ride for North Texas. I am going to take it seriously, and it's going to be brutal. Now, unfortunately, what happened was I was trying to figure out who was declaring and trying to figure out like where the storyline was going to go. I wanted all that written before this happened because I didn't want to just talk and not actually know what I was going to do. So the problem, though, I created a second save file, but somehow the autosave wrote over both. I don't know what I screwed up. So we're here in the offseason, and I cannot look at the All-Americans. I screw that up almost every time, but at least we can still look at the season stats. A couple things before we do that, though. First off, It will be somewhat random every time. Like, I saved right at the end of the bowl game and sim forward a couple of times to this point, and Bracken declared both times, but one of the times Abrams was one of the declaring people who wanted to go into the draft. This time it was Scott Hardy instead, so I figured, or no. This time it was Kevin Shaw instead, which I think works way better for the storyline. So I'm glad that I ended up having to do it twice, but unfortunately, it overwrote the save file before, so we can't look at the All-Americans. Also, when it was still Coach Carrot and I was looking at this, persuasion chance on all three of these guys was very high. I chose not to bring them back for the storyline, even though Bracken, I guess, doesn't really matter, but what is he going to gain by coming back? I figure I'll take him out. I don't utilize him anyways. Changing coaches does change the persuasion chance, in case you're ever thinking about switching over yourself. Talk these guys into coming back, then switch coaches. Alright, flipping through the final season stats. Shaw went 7 of 10 for 138 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had 1 interception. Eric Emil had 3,297 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 20 picks. So those last couple games actually went really well because we were at 18 and 17 at one point. So we jumped way up. We only threw 3 picks over the last 3 or 4 games. So that's really good. Rushing, Hardy, 2,297 yards and 49 touchdowns. And again, did not play in the national championship. Joey Milledge filled in for him. Over the whole season, he had 251 yards and 6 touchdowns. Eric Emil scrambling had 184 yards, 2 touchdowns. Our leading receiver this year was Marvin Harris, who had 923 yards and 9 touchdowns. Pretty good senior season for him. I kind of wish I knew how to use him the whole time. Deontay Simpson in his final year, 41 catches, 492 yards, 4 touchdowns. David Mitchell, 37 catches, 423 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Not bad for a first year. Honestly, like his prospects going forward. Scott Hardy, 29 catches, 477 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Cole Tupin, 26 catches, 305 yards, 3 touchdowns. Richard Lane, 18 catches, 430 yards, and 3 touchdowns. A couple big ones there. He had a long of 71. Peter Smith, 16 catches, 282 yards, 3 touchdowns. And Joey Milledge, 9 catches, 82 yards, 3 touchdowns. Oh, and we can't forget Billy Bob's 0-yard touchdown catch. Not really impressed much with the pancakes. Oh, let's go to Alabama. What are they doing for pancakes? 27, 22. Yeah, so nothing really impressive here. Clark was our best guy, and then Simpson right behind him, our wide receiver. And Quinn gave up 5 sacks. TFL's Dotson with 27, Bone Jangles 24, Bautista with 19, Black with 17, Meadows with 12, Booker with 9, Davis with 7, Lewis with 6. Dotson with 22 sacks in the senior season, Bone Jangles with 17, Meadows with 7, Bautista with 6, Booker with 5, Black with 4, Murray, Bonds, and Lewis all chipping in with 1 apiece. More interceptions than I thought we got. Roden had 5, Abrams had 4, Davis had 3, Pitts and Cardwell each had 1. Dotson with 3 forced fumbles, Meadows with 2, Simpson, Lewis, Abrams, Bautista, and Bone Jangles with 1. Meadows scooped up 3 of them, probably all of them from Dotson, with Dotson and Bone Jangles each scooping up 1 apiece. Bracken, 6 attempts, 6 field goals made, longest is 60, another one of 52, both of those were in the final game. So he made 4 field goals the whole rest of the season. Strong, 4 punts, 188 yards, finished second for the Ray Guy Award, or whatever the punter award is. Kick return, Zach Weber, 32 for 1,461 yards and 6 touchdowns. Cardwell snuck in there somehow and got 117 on 4. Weber also had 44 punt returns for 1,404 yards and 2 touchdowns. Emil finished in 13th place in passing yards, not terrible. Scott Hardy actually finished 3rd behind the Navy quarterback or running back, I guess, and that Tulane running back went out of control. Harris finished 58th in receiving yards. The NCAA tackle leaders, it's all North Texas. Bautista, Davis, Cardwell, Abrams, Lewis. Good God. Dotson and Bone Jangles finish on top in sacks, and it wasn't even close. Now, taking a look at the players who are leaving. Obviously, Bracken, Shaw, Hardy, we went over that in the storyline. They're all leaving. Vernon Hicks, he was a JUCO, didn't play for us at all last year. We've got so many receivers coming in. It's good for him that he's transferring out, because I was probably going to cut him. Cardwell's leaving. He's going to get drafted in the 2nd round. Deontay Simpson, also a 2nd rounder. Marvin Harris is only going in the 6th. It's just weird to me that there's that much difference, but he never caught a red shirt, so I guess that doesn't help. Other players graduating, we got Dorian Morris, who I benched after 2 games because he was awful, and he kept getting blown up in coverage. Grayson Murphy's graduating, but he will be joining the North Texas coaching staff. He's going to be our new defensive coordinator. Jevin Murray, he's leaving 87 overall when he graduates. Not a bad career for him. Dodson, obviously, he's leaving 91 overall. Not good enough to get drafted. Thought for sure he would go to Houston and go to the Voyagers, but that series ended. Clark is the one that really hurts me, because I contemplated redshirting him at one point just to get him drafted, and I thought 92 overall, he'll get drafted, and he doesn't. He will be our new offensive coordinator, at least, so we're going to see him. Zach Weber, 86 overall, not enough to get drafted, but storyline-wise, he's going to get drafted. He'll be like a 5th-round pick or something. Garrett Harrison was a JUCO. He played here for 2 years, won 2 championships, and I think saw the field for 5 minutes. Good job, bud. Oh my god, poor Weber. He finished with 39 rushing yards in his entire career. Did get 1 rushing touchdown. He finished with 12 kick return touchdowns and 4 punt return touchdowns. And that includes 1 year where he wasn't even the punt returner, where I put Cardwell there. The record for most punt and kick returns in a career is 7. In a career. He had 8 just this season. So yeah, he's going down as the greatest to ever do it. 16 total return touchdowns. What a monster. Now, I know it seems weird that I went through with Dodson and put his points into his recruiting. There's a reason for that. We'll get into that in a second. Alright, while this is simulating us, Dodson just went up a level somehow. Oh, he got credit for all the drafted players. He just gained another skill point. So the reason why I'm actually going to care about the recruiting class, and you guys probably won't see it at all, what I'm going to do is once we get to the end of next season and the conclusion of the series, I'm going to go through and go to like the next off-season, off-camera obviously. I'm going to go through, and I've already started this a little bit, and take every single the entire roster and recreate it, make a separate roster save file. So this way, this North Texas team will continue into the next dynasty we do. I don't want the North Texas dynasty that we spent all this time building to just vanish in nothing. You know, I don't want some of these guys, you know, we got Cole Tupin, we've got Peter Smith, we've got all of these username people who still have like 2 years of eligibility left. I want to see how the rest of this plays out. Rather than simming forward 5 years, let's just take North Texas. It's gonna take me a long time to do. That's why I'm already cheating and starting it now. But I'm gonna recreate the entire roster on just a regular roster, so that I can upload it so you guys can have it when it's done, but I can use it for my next dynasty. But I've already got that going. I'll add into the freshmen and stuff after that. So people who wanted North Texas players, you're going to see them in another dynasty, even if we're not controlling the team. And I'm going to keep saying, if you guys want to name any of the recruits next season, or if you want to name someone in the next dynasty, whatever it turns out to be. But either way, they will be in the game. We will play North Texas every year. So North Texas will not be our primary team. It will be in existence from a distance. Now, I would keep it going in this exact same dynasty, but there's 2 reasons why. Number 1, I put the coach progression on, I think, fast. That's affecting everyone, so I just looked through. Every single head coach is a 54 overall coach. So Coach Carrot is actually like one of the worst ones out there. That's why we're getting annihilated in all the recruiting and everything. And the other thing, I have a team builder team. I think I mentioned it way back in like episode 2. And I want to use them. Obviously, they're not in here right now. So in order to do that, I have to start a brand new dynasty. That's why I can't just continue with the same one. So unfortunately, North Texas is going to be like a 99 overall team with 1 star. Oops. But anyways, I'm digressing too much. Let's see if the draft results are any different. Nope, everyone went exactly where they were projected to go. I find it funny that Marvin Harris played out through his senior year and went in the same round as Kevin Shaw, who played 3 years and only came off the bench like 7 times. So here we are doing our offseason recruiting. Currently, we have the number 2 overall class. We're behind Notre Dame. I don't think we can catch them because we're not going to sign any 5 stars, so I think we'll just have to be content with like a top 5 class. Then again, Miami has no 5-star prospects, and they're number 4. All right, now looking at the guys we're trying to go after, we got Jared Hill here, 4-star prospect. We got Joel Hall, a 3-star corner. All right, so I'm going to offer Jared Hill 8,000 points. I'm going to offer Hall 1,000, and I'm going to offer Mason 1,000 because we need some depth at linebacker. And really, that's all I'm interested in. All right, Dodson has jumped up to 7. That's a good sign. We got Hill, Hall, Ball, and it looks like that's it. That's okay. We did end up with the #1 overall class, though. Somehow that was enough to jump us over Notre Dame. Actually, I had a couple of these guys who didn't commit to anyone. We would have taken Mason. Maybe I should offer these guys like 50 points or something. Like just enough for them to maybe consider coming here. Holt goes to North Carolina. That's a good spot for you. That's where you're from. All right, time to go to position changes. This will be a lot of fun. Now, I did notice one thing with these guys when I was looking at them earlier. King has a 77 pass block, and then Serafino has like an 88 or something. So I'm going to put King at right guard, and I put Serafino at right tackle. Overalls do not change whatsoever, but hopefully this means we're not getting sacked from the right tackle position every single time. So like I said, even though we're not going to be playing North Texas the year after this, I'm still going to control it as if I am. I'm going to set them up for more long-term success. So Manning, I thought for sure he'd come in and start, but we're going to have Hagan here. 82 overall senior, he's going to go up in the offseason. So I think I'll just have Hagan start at right end. And then Meadows, I moved him over to left end, so he'll fill in the Dotson role nicely. We've also got Beck backing him up. It's almost tempting to redshirt Meadows, but I'm not going to do that. All right, so Strong's going to be our kicker. I'll let Higdon be a punter, I guess. I don't know. All right, so position changes are all set. The only big thing is I put Robert Little over at fullback. And I think I'm going to let him catch a red shirt this year. I am going to carry 2 fullbacks, but we're not going to have one after. And I don't want to bother recruiting one. But yeah, like I told you guys when I first started doing this, we went after Soria, redshirted him. He's an 83. He's going to go up. Probably, he's going to be at least an 86 next year. That's not bad for someone who's like a 66, 67 overall offensive lineman. So these guys have value at the beginning. Obviously to us now, we got people better than him transferring in here. And one last time, let's take a look at the training results. So after all this, Davis ends up being the better overall prospect than Abrams by 1 point. All right, David Mays gets a +5. Mason Fine Jr. gets a +4. Joke's on you. Fine Jr. is going to be the backup. Millage with a +6. McCoy and Allen with +5. I don't know that Allen's going to make the team, though. Sorry. Mitchell and Little both with +3s. Yeah, our fullbacks just aren't developing because they never see the field. I just want Little to at least have some sort of role. Donald Smith gets a +4. Peter Smith a +4. Tupin a +4. Lane a +4. Tannehill the fourth a +4. And the fast receivers are the only ones who got a boost to their speed. Jeez, I feel bad for Peter Smith and Tupin. I should have paid more attention when I was renaming prospects because, damn, I made y'all slow. David Mitchell only getting a +3. Mickey Irvin getting a +6. Oh, I already named a couple. Don't worry. So Wyatt Winterfeld, you got a +4. You're an 83 overall. You're going to start over Mickey Irvin. I'm always going to do that. Austin Owen only getting a +3. Billy Bob getting a +4. Griffin getting a +5. They really want me to start Griffin over. I mean, Griffin was incredible on kickoff returns, and hopefully he will be this year too. Ginsburg getting a +6. Already up to an 84, so not that much of a drop-off from Clark now. Soria a +4. King a +4. Glover a +4. Serafino getting a +3, and Quinn getting a +3. Meadows only getting a +3. Beck a +3. Dixon a +3. Damn, not a lot of development here. Hagan a +3. Huggins a +4. Scott a +3. Bone Jangles a +5. Booker a +5. Massey and Hayes both +5s. Dotson with a +4 after getting redshirted for his sophomore year. Bautista getting a +4. Stewart a +4. Mendoza a +4. Tex Black a +4. Childs a +4. Matt Roden a +5. Lewis and Bonds both get +4. Maurice Williams on his red shirt got a +5. And Blount with a +4 on his red shirt. Davis with a +5. Pitts a +4. Carter a +5. Abrams a +4. Estes and Green both with +4s. Strong with a +4. So again, we still have a 90-something overall kicker. So as far as the +7 player, as you can see, everyone qualifies. I think the players who stand out to me, I already know we're going to get 1 vote. Austin Owen definitely deserves more than a +3 at offensive line. Billy Bob deserves more than a +4. I'd say Bone Jangles definitely deserves to be considered for a +7 player. Booker had a pretty good season too. Bautista, again, a nominee for the +7. Tex Black, I think, also had a claim to it. And I'd say both Davis and Abrams deserve a chance at it. Now, as soon as you guys see this, I'm going to start recording Season 6 of North Texas, probably 2 days later. So you've got a couple days to get any recruits that you want to nickname and the +7 player. All those will be revealed at the end, or at the beginning of the next episode. So get those into this episode. Last call. And last call forever, too. And again, if you don't want to name a recruit because you know it's the last season in North Texas, that's fine. Put your names down if you want to get it into the next Dynasty just for the start of the team. Alright, and because all these people declared, I've only got to cut 6 players now. I don't know who this 64 overall quarterback... Did I recruit him? I don't know. Get him out of here. You're gone. I should cut Lane, but I can't do it. I can't do it. Casey, you can go, though. Alright, now for the big one. Alright, so next season, North Texas is going to the SEC. Our final ride, I'm going to put us through the gauntlet. Not only are we going to the SEC, but I modified the West Division as if it wasn't already hard enough. I swapped out the Mississippi teams for Florida and Georgia. And I'm also going to make Arkansas our predicted rival because I think they're the best team over there, or it could be South Carolina. I can't check that from here. I'll figure it out. So Big 12, I put Missouri over here. I also brought Oklahoma State back. I moved Appalachian State to the ACC, which is where they belong because I'm an idiot. They don't play in Virginia. So putting them in the same conference as West Virginia doesn't make any damn sense. They're in North Carolina. And I demoted Wake Forest because I feel like they're always trash. Alright, so if you guys were worried about me having a weak schedule last year, don't worry, I fixed it. We got quite the gauntlet going on this year. Obviously, we're not an independent, so we can't play everybody, but there's enough good schools in the SEC and some other people floating around. So we start off the season, easier game against Ole Miss. Then we go at Arkansas, at Florida, home for Ohio State, a bye week, home for Alabama, at Georgia, at Notre Dame, at Auburn, at Kentucky, home for Texas A&M, home for LSU, and home for Clemson. Yeah, quite the run we're going to be on. Texas A&M isn't even ranked. LSU isn't even ranked. Georgia's not ranked. These teams should be tough. But the weakest school on here is Kentucky. I didn't want to choose them, but that's just who they gave us. Now, as far as red shirts, I'm only going to do a couple because obviously this is going to be the last year we play, but I still want to set them up. The depth chart, not a lot of changes from last year. And in the recruiting, you guys don't care. So maybe I'll pop in occasionally if you guys want to see it, but I'll set up the recruiting board off here. If you want to take a look at it at the beginning, I'll show you. But it's not going to be anything you're going to notice in this Dynasty. So, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, please be sure to hit like down below. If you want to see more from me, be sure to subscribe. Hit that notification bell to get it delivered directly to your inbox every single time I upload. I know a lot of you are going to be heartbroken at North Texas's ending, especially considering there's a lot of new people here who are only just now discovering it. And I'm sorry, but this has been going since the beginning of August. We've had a pretty good run. We're on 2 straight national championships. I don't know if we're going to do a 3rd straight, but we're going to have a good time trying to do it anyways. We're going to really earn that 3-peat if we're going to get it. So, thanks guys for coming along with me. Now, if you want to nickname any of these recruits that we've already signed, if you want to put some names in the pool for next year's recruits, that obviously we're not going to see, but they'll be in the next Dynasty, or if you want to get in on the next Dynasty that we do, the Team Builder Dynasty, and you want to have someone on that starting roster, any position you want, whoever, leave it all down in the comment section below. Everything you leave down there, I will always respond to, unless you are the trolliest of trolls. Or one of those bots who keeps trying to be my YouTube friends. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Shane. I'm out.